Hey, it's Youngr here, and I'm going to show you how I made my new song Drive in my studio here, in the man cave. So this tune, my next tune, Drive, actually came about with me. I think I was driving home at like 2 in the morning. I think I just had an argument with my manager or something. I was driving home fuming, and then this bass line just popped up in my head, and I got my phone out illegally. Don't do that, kids. I started singing this thing while I was driving. It was like boom, 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 boom. Anyway, went on. This little melody came in. Got home, super inspired. Emailed it to myself. Dragged it into Ableton and started working on it at home. And this is what it sounds like when I dragged it in. Oh my Jesus. Raw. Really digging myself as I'm driving. I'm like, yeah. So that's how that sounded. So then dragged that in here and just basically obviously had to cut the low off because it was an absolute thing. Compressed it a little bit, put a bit of a tuning on for the key. And added a bit of reverb and delay. A few clicks. And we went into the track there. So the actual original voice note is still the main melody because I actually tried re-singing it through the condenser mics and all this shit with my headphones on, digging myself like Craig David. But I couldn't get it to sound as legit and old school as that did. So check it out here. I actually duplicated it. So this is the, which has got guitar rig on. I'm gonna loop that. Just some delay, EQs and stuff. And then on top of that, I got a nice distorted one. Really cuts through the mix with a bit of dip EQ there, because that's savage EQ. So on the distorted voice note, which I duplicated, I put on auto-tune, which was on the same thing, just to get it real nice in the key of A flat major. And then EQ, cutting out the bass again, and then guitar rig goes through guitar amp. Here, that's what gives it the shit, and there's a lot of shit on that, as I can see. Pretty sure that was preset hopping at 2 in the morning, like, got that on, sounded pretty sweet, and then gated it, because it was messy as hell, and then EQ'd it, dropped out some of the harsh frequency there, and then together, which is then also sidechained to a kick drum, which is just, I think, pretty sure, just going 4 to the floor. Kick, yeah, this guy. So he's sidechained there. I know, yeah, here I chopped out the little bits that I didn't need to just make it a little bit smoother. And then where did I go from there? So I wanted to recreate that voice note exactly. I wanted to make a musical version of that note that was in my head. So because I was at my house, I wasn't at my studio, I had to get a bass sound up, which I used Contact here, which is the Rickenbacker bass sound, which is amazing. I use it all the time. And then actually before, it's actually been replayed by me when it got sent to be mixed. I didn't actually send this bass, but this. Which is basically trying to recreate this. Dum dum, dum dum. In a musical sense, and then to add some life into it, I got my my bass slapping the bass, which is really subtle. So that's live bass, me just chopped up, really subtle stuff. And on top of that, I got chord movements in Omnisphere here, which is a nice warm sound that I love. Here, oh, where is it? Just doing thirds. Root note and thirds. With a bit of a cheeky pitch bend there, I just heard. Is he there? There he is, little cheeky guy. Yeah, so this patch I use for the chords, I've used in Out My System and 93, some of my previous songs, which do this style a bit more. Let me show you here. So You lift the filter. So it's a patch I made in Omnisphere here, and it's just a sign and a sample. I think I fucked with it so long ago now that I can't remember what I did, but it was one of those days of just tweaking and twaddling with filters and whatnots. So that's the only bit that rhythm happens. So here I kept it mellow, same patch, but as you can see the auto filter is all the way down, and this one's actually sidechained to a different rhythm, which we will talk about now, which is the drum groove. So I think that's the rhythm it's sidechained to. Dum dum dum. Yeah. So when it came to the drums, I wanted to keep it real simple. So it's literally just like a basic beat. Super simple. Added a clap in. Probably myfirstdrumbeat.com, right? So the kick I actually pulled up from out my system, the kick I used there, because it was just meaty, fat, and lovely. And I actually didn't put any processing on it because it just sounds, it sounds good. And the same goes with the snare, because I worked on them for quite a lot. It's like a snare and a clap, and the kick. I mean, for the verse, all I did was throw an auto filter on, take the top out. Bob's your uncle. If it works, right? So on top of that, I had this nice hi-hat loop here, because I wanted something a bit live, so I've got it from my hip-hop sample loop, whatever, bit of crackle, which the mix engineer hated. He was like, what's that crackle on the hi-hat sample? I was like, it's meant to be there, bro. It's making it sound vintage. Vintage. Now this thing I quite like. It's a recorded speaker beat, I called it. I was recording the vocal in here through my SM7B, and I didn't have the headphones on because I'm a lazy bugger, and I had the beat too loud, and it recorded the beat like that. So let me just take off all this processing. So that's recorded through those speakers, through this mic. And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. So I threw this nice guy on, warm, bit of saturation, EQ'd out the lows, compressed it, gated it, filtered it, and made it sound. And that beat, you may be thinking, came from the live drum beat, which is here, which I recorded on my drum set, which is through there, which is a bit of live drums for you, because I always like to start off my tunes. I'm jumping a bit here because this is after I made the initial track at home. I came into my studio, I was like, right, how do I bring this to life? So the first thing I know how to do is drums. So I played super chopped up, and then that's the beat with this, of course, playing. I've got it running through my UAD setup here, so I usually have a few UAD plugins that 11676 compressor on the toms and snares and stuff, so it kind of comes in all right. I didn't really want to keep the kick drum. I mean, it's kind of nice. It's flabby though, and then I think I've got them. Oh no, they're still on. So it's just the kick that's not on, and the toms, greasy toms. So I muted them. And then that's the hi-hat, and that's just a mono overhead. So they've just got the bass cut. So I'm cool with that. And then I've grouped them. I'll put the OTT multiband on because it's just fantastic. It just squashed everything and brings everything to life. And then the drum glue full parallel. And then I just kind of mess with the dry and wet a little bit. So this made because in my voice note I was going boom, dum, dum, with that rhythm, that reggaeton rhythm that everyone loves so much. So I had my 808 channel, which is actually sometimes plugged in. Oh, it worked. To that. So that's going. with a bit of pitch bend. So with that, I sampled my own mouth again, doing the mouth rhythm, as I called it here. Let me solo this. So this has got some EQ, loads of bass kicked out. Actually, the saturate is off. Compressor, chorus for a bit widening, filter, and then again, some bass cut off. So check this out. So if I drag that out, it's actually... it's that same guy, that same nut job in the car singing into his phone. So that plus that made my verse rhythm. I think here he makes another appearance. Boom! On the mouth rhythm, I kind of had to cut just some unwanted car frequencies going on. The compressor, give it some more life. Chorus, yeah, it's just to make it a little wobbly, a little bit, kind of sit it back in the mix a little bit, give it a little wideny sparkling, and then obviously that sounds like a frog jumping into a pond, kind of. So I cut it a little bit, and also I love on the auto filter the PRD setting here. And then you just ramp that drive up. It's just fantastic. So, real mellow. It's just nice. Just it gives it some grit, gives it some testicles. And then, yeah, because I ramped up that drive, I had to cut out some low end again here. So that makes the mouth rhythm. Where should we go next? Where are we? Where are we now? So then the post choruses, some shakers which I added in. Some human shakers, which I like. Split them into two so I could kind of make them wide. So yeah, there's a shaker panned hard left over here, and one over here, hard right. Super wide, tasty shakers. So that with this, that with this, that with this. Oh, and this guy. So I was going through my sample packs, as we all do. Found a little flexi tone, which I named the Flexi Ting. He's my favourite sound in the whole song. And he comes in on a mad beat. He's there, but wait. Let's turn him real up. Let's turn him real loud. Feature him. Fantastic. Don't know what made me put him there, but he's there. What else we got here? Verb hits. Subtle effects noises. Oh, and we got a Scando Hey thrown in there. Flex thing's so loud. Yeah, it gives it that big wide sound or feeling. So where are we? Let's talk about the drum fills, because I love these drum fills. So I sampled myself back in the day on this drum rack here. So I got, let me solo it. Where is he? All like real toms. Real nice dead toms from from different studios I've been in. Multi-sampled them, put them in a rack so I can kind of play myself. As DJ Khaled says. You played yourself. So I made a little tasty drum fill here going into the choruses. Where is he? Let me mute the vocals. So here, so he's there. So what I did, because they kind of sounded a bit too ringy, I froze the track. There's a bit of vinyl crunch on there as well, and just a bit of sampling, but the actual processing on these toms was super nice and legit, so I wanted to keep it real. So those guys, froze them, dragged them into a channel underneath, and then there's this nice little handy trick someone told me a few years ago. Change the thing to beats, the warp to beats, transients, and then change the arrow to facing that way. You can drag, and you can kill sounds, make them real short and nice. So I kind of played with that, made it real tight and real. So they stuck out a little more. So those are the drum fills. And that was the example of me, you know, hitting on beat one. Don't know, it just felt right. It felt right to be rocking on that beat. All right, that's all we've got time for. If you want to watch more of that video, get the latest issue of Computer Music.